Good morning, thanks for coming. Throughout the discussions this week, what we've chosen to do is to use the analogy of Bucks, the organisation, as being similar to a neglectful parent. There have been a lot of changes in the management above us, and that's akin to kind of, different parental figures coming in and out of children's lives. The feelings that we've been discussing and how we work, we feel that it's begun to mirror some of the sometimes chaotic and disorganised families that we in fact work with. But essentially the main thing was that actually, as Bucks, we're not prioritising the children and families that we work with. We all know and are aware of the Every Child Matters agenda and those 5 outcomes. And actually, in discussing things this week, we actually found that as employees and people that work directly with children and families, they're actually outcomes that we'd quite like for ourselves in terms of our working lives. The first challenge that I'm going to talk about today is about our professional culture and professional challenge within that. The discussions have shown that within our organisation, decisions can be made, and we're not always, as a workforce, we don't always feel empowered to be able to challenge those decisions. And sometimes when we do challenge those decisions, the response that we get, it can be defensive, or it's just not part of kind of a learning and professional culture. What we are, the professional challenge, it's embedded in social work and systemic values. It's absolutely a massive part of both of those things, for social work, social care, and the work we do with families. In order to be able, we understand that actually changing that kind of deep-rooted culture in an organisation is a massive challenge. And from that perspective, it needs to come from not just an individual point of view, but it needs to come from above. So from the chief executive, senior management team level, and director of children's services level, in order for us to be able to all achieve that change. In terms of quick wins with regards to professional challenge and making that possible, we've identified that we could have challenge champions. We all know those colleagues who are sound practice, really approachable, professional in their approach to working with colleagues and management. Who are those people? Can we utilise them to help support where we don't feel able to challenge, or challenges, there are barriers to challenge? Who can we utilise? Is that something that we can do now? Morning Lane, I talked earlier about systemic practice. We're all very aware of it. We're all trying really hard to embed this in our practice. Morning Lane are already working within the organisation, but it seems that they are working in pockets of the organisation, when actually, if everybody working directly with children and families was able to have access to that kind of therapeutic, systemic input, that would really help for us to be able to challenge as workers, but also for management to better kind of accept challenge when it happens. The second challenge that we are going to talk about today is about the employee journey. What we've found through our discussions is that when people come into the organisation or move into different teams within the organisation, staff induction is very inconsistent across the service. You can find that some people have a really great induction, it's planned, it's embedded in that team, it's a team responsibility, and in other parts of the service, what it is that you come in, you have to get onto the ICT systems. Once that's happened, off you go, you run. Induction, essentially it's about building relationships, clarifying your role and responsibility, and being able to identify and mobilise resources that are going to support you to do your job. A good induction helps people to feel valued, it helps people to feel supported, it helps embed them in our organisation. If people are coming from other authorities and coming in and the only induction they get is about how quickly we can get you a caseload and working, it doesn't promote that, it doesn't make them feel valued when they walk through the door. If they're supported, and actually, essentially, a good induction, it supports people to be successful in their roles, which is working with children and families. A bad induction sets people up to fail, or at least, supports them to fail. So we've got lots of things up here about induction, but I think we all know what good induction looks like. We know that there are policies and that these are things that we should all be doing, but actually it's about how can we make this happen, because it isn't happening. Some of the some of the quick wins that we've discussed would be setting up an induction focus group with involving senior management, and this would enable new users, new starters, to be able to feed back into their experience, how we can then improve on future inductions for other people. Peer support across the service, so new users, new starters, they have the opportunity to go and meet with other people, other new starters who are in different sections of the service, and that also then feeds back into how we can make that induction process better for people. In terms of ensuring that it happens across the service, it's possible that this, the induction could link into supervision, which then feeds into your 10 and 20-week reviews going forward. So it's a proper part and start of your probationary process, and it could link to DSP in order for it to, as I said, become embedded into actually, the way that people come into our organisation or move within the organisation. There's lots of, as I said, I think we all know what a good induction looks like, but there is lots of things up here that we kind of feel are really important to be involved in.
Thank you, Brian.